Hey guys, my name is Jeff Rojas and I'm a portrait and fashion photographer based out of New York City. And just like a lot of you, things don't always necessarily go the way that I want them to. And that's totally okay. Learning how to adapt to every situation makes me a more versatile photographer. There's no such thing as controlled perfection outside of the studio. And many of my clients want to shoot outside of a normal studio environment, just like you guys. Now, learning to adapt to those situations therefore becomes very important, and I'll give you guys a perfect example. So I was recently hired by a client to produce a fashion editorial on location. Everything's accounted for. My background stands are there, my light stands are there, everything's there according to the client. So the only thing I bring with me is my background. I bring my Photix Intra 360, my camera, 3 lenses, and 1 light stand, just in case, as I'm running out that door. Now, I arrive on location and my shooting space is a small 10-foot square space. My background stands don't exist and neither do my light stands, and that's okay. I have to learn how to adapt to that situation in order to get the job done. So I found a clothing rack hanging from 2 giant chains on the ceiling and turned that into my background. The background isn't hanging exactly 10 feet high as it normally would at my studio, it's just barely above my model's head, and that's okay, we have to make it work. In that small environment, the Photix Intra 360 provides sufficient power. It's a very directional light source, but it's large enough to illuminate both my subject and the background. The best part about using that specific modifier is it does have contrast, and it's still soft enough to accentuate most of the clothing. Now, I did borrow some chairs from some local restaurants because we didn't have anything else to use as props, but we made it work. Now, the reality is that shooting in a large space in New York City is a luxury. Not many people can afford it. Many people convert their living rooms and second bedrooms into full-fledged studios, and that's okay. Learning how to adapt to those situations makes you a more practical and resourceful photographer. So before you start freaking out about not being able to shoot in a specific place, analyze your environment. You might run into a situation like mine. Maybe your background can be mounted onto a wall or from the ceiling. Don't feel overwhelmed. Think, strategize, adapt to that situation. Anything goes when you're a photographer, and you just have to make it happen.